Hello, everybody. I'm Jill Cooper, and I'm back, and I want to talk about menopause, postmenopause, incontinence, and pelvic floor integrity. So many people don't talk about this important part or aspect of being a woman. Incontinence is debilitating, it's embarrassing, and it happens, and people don't talk about it just because it's so personal and it's so important. The very first time I started jumping, I had incontinence, as well as most women that, are going into their 40s or had, natural childbirth and, have problems with elasticity of the pelvic muscles and of the connective tissue. So what I really want to talk about is how a trampoline can help you with your pelvic floor, and it can help you with strengthening the connective tissue. Now, the first thing is, if you're watching me, I'm just bouncing. I'm not jumping. So if you notice, if you have problems with incontinence, anything that pushes in this area, creates a compression in the abdomen or in the abdomen region, coughing, sneezing, jumping, running, ha ha ha, that can create incontinence, and you notice leakage. So what we really want to do is to slightly bounce and absolutely not jump, especially if we have connective tissue problems and we have elasticity. But what I do want to say is, if you do this protocol, and if you do start to work with these exercises, are really simple exercises, you can start to improve your connective tissue, strengthen it, condition it, adapt it, because every single time, your body will adapt to stressors always. That's just the way we get stronger. If we have a stressor dosed or applied in the correct manner or in the correct dosage, will absolutely help your body strengthen and not be too much. Obviously, if you come into jumping, a lot of people stop jumping just because you go, oh my gosh, I started jumping, I had this leakage, it's embarrassing, I don't want to continue. No, you should continue, because that's exactly what's going to condition the muscles, and more than the muscles, the connective tissue, because if you put your hands on your legs as you're jumping, you'll notice a pumping action, you'll notice a pulling action. This pulling action will create a stimulus to your fibroblasts to produce more collagen, because for them it's like, oh my gosh, we're losing our grip, we're losing the strength of what we're used to doing, because what we're telling our body is that we're on a different planet. We're on a different planet where there's more acceleration, where there's more need of deceleration to hold on to muscle fibers and the fasciae in the body, because the fasciae is this web, this connective tissue web that holds everything in place, and that's what we're going to be adapting to when we just bounce on a trampoline, not jump. Now, second thing is, I've seen a lot of people on the internet say, okay, you're on your trampoline, now just hold your abs in and pull in your connective tissue. That's really almost impossible to do, because what happens is, when we're on a trampoline, it's the same concept for the deceleration of a car. Why do we put a seatbelt on? We put a seatbelt on. Why do we put children into baby seats or, child seats? Because if I decelerate really quickly, I cannot hold myself still. That's just impossible. I will fly out through the window, right? So if I decelerate rapidly from 30 kilometers an hour, 30 miles an hour, I will fly through the window without something that is holding me back. So it's technically, it's like saying, hold your tummy in as you're jumping on a trampoline, is the same thing as saying just hold yourself against the seat as you decelerate from 50 kilometers an hour to 0. And that's just not possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a seat belt for our internal organs. We're going to create a seat belt, and that seat belt's going to be our connective tissue. So if you put your hands on your tummy, you'll start to notice the pulling action, and that pulling action is stimulating your fibroblasts to create stronger fasciae. And that is what we're going to go for. So the first thing is, do not shy away from jumping on a trampoline because you have leakage or because you have a problem with elasticity of your pelvic region or your perineum or your pelvic floor. The second thing is, you can always jump at the beginning with a sanitary pad. Just put down, I use a sanitary pad in the first months. Well, I was even months. I'd say it goes away in about, you can really get if you jump every single day, you'll notice within a few weeks, noticeable difference, a better, you're going to have less leakage. You're going to notice it's much easier to jump without any leakage whatsoever. So first of all, this is the first thing we're doing. If you want, you can just put your hand on your pelvic floor, and as you jump, you will feel this action. You will feel a contraction that you're obviously not controlling. It's doing the trampoline's doing it for you. So that's the first exercise we can do. The second exercise we can do is abs, because by lying down on a trampoline at this point, I'm going to be stimulating my fibroblasts to reinforce my connective tissue bed on a horizontal axis. So at this point, I can jump a lot more, but nothing's going to be dragging on my internal organs because I'm lying down. So what we want to, reduce or be careful of is prolapse organs towards south, like towards our feet. So if I'm lying down here, put your hands on your abs, and once again, you'll feel the pulling action, but the pulling action at this point is going to be helping our connective tissue while we're lying down without putting any duress on our uterus, on our vesicula. And I can't think of what vesicula is in English. Excuse me. It's not coming to me. My bladder. Okay, so my bladder, and that is a great way to condition our connective tissue. The other thing that I really sincerely suggest is every single time you go to the bathroom, to interrupt your urine flow. So every single time you go to the bathroom, stop. Now, there's a lot of people saying, don't do that, because what's the problem is to restart, a lot of people push back out. So they hold in and then they push, which would be counterproductive. So what I want you to do is every single time you go to the bathroom, I still do it. Every single I go to the bathroom, I stop. And it's just, if it becomes part of your routine, it is a natural way to help you control your pelvic muscles and help you control and reinforce your pelvic floor. So I start and I stop, and then you'll notice that the flow will start by itself. Do not push back against the flow. Just like when the flow starts to come again, you just let it go. Don't push, just let it go. You just want to pull in and then release, and pull in and release. You're not going to pull in and then push out and pull in, push out, because that would be counterproductive. But what I want to say is, do not fear incontinency if you can cure it. Not cure it, but at least provide the right stimuli to help you resolve it. I am big into resolving problems, because I always look at the body. I look at my body and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a problem. Let's resolve it. Oh, that could be a problem. Let's resolve it. So when we just kind of start to push into the mat, we can have a lot of help on pelvic floor incontinency and our connective tissue. So I hope that was helpful. Please do not hesitate to write me at info@jillcooper.it if you have any questions, and I will always be here to help, because I think between women and women in postmenopause, we've got to give ourselves as much help as possible. And always do remember that if you're in menopause, there is no better metabolic workout than jumping. I have not found it yet. I'm not because you can't do something like HIIT or Tabata or high intensity interval training, but it's hard. There's nothing as easy as trampoline to get you thin as fast as it does. So if you want to keep your metabolism really, really healthy, jump. If you want to keep your pelvic floor healthy, bounce. If you want to keep your body healthy, use SuperJump, because it really helps. Mwah. Have a great day, and thank you for listening. Hugs from Jill.